Discover the Infinite Leads Blueprint with Jon Weberg.
Welcome to Awakened Titans podcast with Lily Patrascu. Mind-blowing conversations with influential business titans sharing how you can manifest abundance, love, joy, success through quantum awakening, quantum manifestation, quantum healing, quantum miracles, exponential business growth, and innovative products and services.
Jon Weberg is a globally recognized digital marketing consultant, international speaker, and CEO of Profitalize. And after becoming a 2 times self-published author and multi-business owner, his wealth of actionable knowledge impacts the masses. The first question is, what are leads and how can we get an infinite amount of them?
Leads are the life and blood of every business across the world. Simply put, is the ability to gather someone in your audience's contact information so you can follow up with them later. Because as we all know, the vast majority of people looking at a product, looking at a service, don't buy initially. It takes follow-up or continued communication in order to turn them into a customer, not just a customer, but a repeat buyer. With the second question of how do you get an infinite number of them? It's tricky, it's difficult, but you can do it in 2 different ways. Number one, you need to make enough money on the back end of your business. So in how long you retain customers for, the amount of money they pay you over time, the lifetime value of your customer, and so on and so forth. When you have enough profitability on the back end of your business, you're able to generate enough profit that you're able to reinvest faster than your competition, reinvest faster into acquiring more leads, whether you're running ads, whether you're doing organic marketing, it doesn't matter. So one is the profitability and monetization of those leads that allows you to scale and generate more leads and actually at a lower cost because you're able to take more of the market. Number 2, making impactful partnerships and appearing on podcasts. One of the things I like to do is go on podcasts because it's a huge way to generate leads, get exposure, get your name out there, get your face out there. It's amazing. Podcasts are huge. Making larger scale partnerships is also pretty impactful. For example, I like to work with SaaS companies. So like an email marketing service that has 10,000 customers. If I want to generate as many leads as possible in the shortest time possible, making a partnership with them when they have 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 customers is an instant huge boost to my business if I can partner with them because I don't have to generate that many leads or customers on my own. If we can collaborate, work together, it's a really big, impactful deal. And then that instant amount of growth of customers and leads will also produce a lot of profits, which again can be reinvested back into the business.
Thank you. Tell us more about your journey. How did you come to notice that getting infinite leads is the key to business growth? And how did you actually do that in your business, so much so that you were teaching about that?
So it started when I was about 12 years old, really young. I got started extremely young. My dad taught me and got me into the business, kind of wanting to change my lifestyle, our family's lifestyle. We started out extremely poor, so we looked at digital marketing as a way to change everything. And over the years, as I started getting more and more involved in business and focusing on how do I grow this business, because I didn't want to go to school, I didn't want to go to college, I just wanted to operate, manage my own business because I like to not be told what to do, I like to do things on my own. That's kind of my personality. So over the years, we kind of realized that getting and acquiring leads as low cost and at highest profit margins possible is the only way at the time because we had such a small budget to work with. I mean, a lot of the times it was zero. We had to find ways to acquire leads naturally and it produce as much money from them as possible. So that was kind of the beginning of the journey. Now, how did we actually develop this strategy? Number 1, like I mentioned earlier, it was kind of through a lot of collaborations with also a lot of people even competing with us in markets. So if you have a competitor who also helps do the exact same thing that your product and service is providing, instead of competing against them, it's much more mutually beneficial if you form a JV, a joint venture partnership with them, and you actually share leads together. When you share leads together, you exchange your own, but you also get there. So forming JVs and affiliate partnerships, having affiliates promote your product and service for you is one of the most impactful ways we've generated over the years, probably in total, probably hundreds of thousands of leads over the years. So do less of the work yourself. and find ways to use other people's audiences, which is what the Infinite Leads Blueprint is about, is how can we collaboratively use other people's audiences in collaboration with our own to expand your total reach. Number two is actually speaking events. So I just got back from Budapest speaking for Affiliate World. As well, I'll be speaking at Traffic and Conversions in March, which I'm super excited for. In both these instances at Affiliate World, there was, I believe, 7,500 or 7,000 or so attendees. At Traffic and Conversions, I believe the main events operator said there'll be around 3,000 or 4,000. Being able to speak at these events, which I spent nothing to do so, I don't pay to speak, I was able to persuade my way through the doors, which you can do actually relatively easily, is being able to work with events and masterminds of your ideal customer base. And then from the content you create from that event, that mastermind, you can generate a lot of leads just from that alone. But as well, being able to talk directly to your ideal customers is huge. Directly generate leads and customers from them.
Thank you. What's the best way to find these people that have your ideal target market?
I think one, if you want your ideal, which we'll quickly cover, because most people think I want as many leads and customers as possible. And that's not really the case. You really want, like you're saying, your ideal target market that can afford and who's already interested in what you're offering. You don't want to be in the convincing game. A lot of times sales teams aren't able to scale and grow because they're in the convincing game. You want to, number one, take a look at where your competitors are advertising and the type of content your competitors are using. So I would literally take a look at who is the biggest person in your space? Who's the biggest company selling something similar to what you're doing in your space? What is the type of content they're creating? Which platforms are they focusing on? Because not all platforms are going to be as profitable as others for reach and for conversion rates. So you'll notice maybe if you're in the health and wellness niche and you're selling protein supplements, if you take a look at the top 5 brands who are selling protein supplements across the United States or across the world, and you see that they're mainly on YouTube or they're mainly on Twitter or they're mainly on a specific platform, you want to change your focus, for example, just social media marketing to that platform, and then also kind of duplicate for your own business the strategies they're using on that platform as well. So if it's a specific content style, if it's more entertaining, more enticing, more educating, whatever style they're using, whatever type of graphics they're using, duplicate and kind of customize that approach for your own business in what you're seeing your competitors doing in their own market. Because the best, most profitable, time-effective shortcut to accomplish anything in life or in business is to learn from the masters directly, which would be someone who's has a business that's worth 10 or 100 or 1,000 times yours, and then directly pull from what they're doing and use it for yourself.
Thank you. What's the best way to convince someone who has a much larger audience than yours to work with you?
Honestly, you have to make the deal in their favor as much as possible. Truly. So, for example, when I'm working with, say, an autoresponder or a company, and they want me to create a course, or I've talked with them to create a course for their services, because a lot of agencies and SaaS tools, they have a monthly subscription service, but that's all they offer to their audience. So they're missing out a lot of profit in their entire business model by not having, a course in place for email marketing, for business growth, etc. So you have to say, hey, I understand I'm coming to you, or even if you're coming to me and you have this larger audience, you have the leads and customers in your hands. So what you want to do is make the deal incentivize like the amount of money being produced. For example, a lot of my deals, I'll go 70% of the total revenue goes to them, or 60% of the total revenue goes to them. In most cases, the majority of the revenue goes to them. Because I'm also not just concerned about the revenue or the profit being produced on my end. I want to expand my total audience. Again, this is all about generating as many leads and customers as possible and expanding my total presence as fast and cost effective as possible. So I would even in some instances be okay with 80% or 90% of the profit going to them, because it's mainly about getting my name, my brand, my image, or my business in as many eyes as possible. So one, highly incentivize the deal in their perspective and benefiting them most. And two, reaching out to multiple different people in the company who would be in charge of decision making. So if I want to partner with you, if I want to partner with Becky, if I want to partner with John selling anything, I reach out to the CMO, I reach out to the CEO, I reach out to VAs, I reach out to 5 or 10 different people within the organization. Because A, You want as many contact points as possible. You want as many different people within the organization talking about, hey, I got a message from XYZ. I got a message from XYZ. And if multiple people do that, it increases your chances to actually land a deal or to be able to at least have a conversation with a company or business or JV in mind. So reach out to multiple contacts that are connected to the main decision makers and the decision makers themselves. If you do this, you're able to land deals at a much higher rate by far.
Thank you. Do you also find that it's a good idea to continue that? So, for example, when you talked about the 70, 80, 90% ratio, do you continue that ratio also after the first purchase?
Yes. So in most cases, with it depends on the size of the deal. I'll say that. If it's a really big company, truly, they have all the leverage. So the only leverage you can have is making it so far in their favor that truly I'd be willing to give 90 or 80% of the money to them, just because you have to, again, because if you want your business to grow and grow extremely profitably and allow yourself to reinvest in leads, which is the name of the game, infinite leads, literally, you actually want to care more about your own back end of your business, not just this potential deal. So I know, because I'm going to partner with, say, a specific company that has 20,000 customers, that if we make this deal and we sell a course to their audience on email marketing or how to grow or start a business online, that a certain percentage of them are going to buy. This certain percentage, let's say it's 100 or 500 of them. These people now are exposed to me and potentially will purchase maybe my own services that I offer for $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 a month. Maybe they'll buy another one of my own courses or another one of my things, and they'll be brought into my own infrastructure, which, in order to make these JV deals and partnerships extremely possible, you need to have enough of your own infrastructure and what's the word for it? Your own multiple offers, structured offers in a hierarchy. And if you can do that properly, again, these partnerships, while it may seem like, oh, we're giving up so much, you're not, because you're expanding your business, you're getting more brand awareness, you're speaking closely to potential customers, you're generating profit you weren't going to have anyways, and you're basically getting a free audience, free leads, free customers you don't have to pay for. That's a big thing too. You're not paying for any of these people that then can be brought to your own, if you do things right, multiple offers. In some cases, it would be even likely possible and wanted to give 100% of the deal. If you have enough of your own stuff structured, and if maybe you also got access to the leads and customers who were generated from your mutual working together, if you get access to them as well, if you have enough of a profitability systems, multiple different offers and ways you service your customers, it can be worth it even then.
Thank you. I don't understand how that is profitable though, because if you're going to give them 90% of your profit from all of your offers, then it doesn't make sense. But what I think you mean is that you're only going to give them that offer just for the offer you created specifically for your audience.
It's the one you created.
90% of all of the offers you're going to make to them.
Yes, just 90% of the direct offer you built together. That's what I should have emphasized. Now, if you could also say, hey, we're going to do this together, and I also am going to give you a portion of these offers as well, which would also incentivize it even more. So that's when I would go, the initial offer we build together, you get 80, 90, or 70% of. You can A, not offer anything of your own and you collect 100% of the money, or B, give them 60, 50, 40, or 30% of your own offer as well. I usually say, hey, let's just build this together, and then my own stuff, I collect 100% of. That's where I like to do is let's leverage your audience as much as possible, give you a lot of upfront money, almost like it's your own offer, give you so much money, it's like having your own offer, and then I'll have a way to incentivize and monetize these people in my own direction.
Thank you. What are the best places? Do you have any specific places where you can find these people to do the joint ventures?
Yeah, so there's a lot of affiliate and JV marketplaces, such as ClickBank, such as Digistore. There's Rakuten, there's CJ Affiliate Network. There's many different affiliate networks. If you just Google affiliate networks and JV networks, you'll find Max Bounty. You'll find many different ways that you'll find people who have offers and who have lists of their affiliates. And you can reach out to the people who have their own offers, and also to the affiliates promoting each particular offer to see, and again, you want to incentivize this deal strong enough if they would have interest in promoting your own business. And again, also as well through LinkedIn, just Google, you can kind of find, say if you sell supplements again, for example, if you go on YouTube and look up review of X supplement as a competitor, 90% of the people you find doing YouTube reviews on their channels are people who are affiliates, who are promoting a different supplement. So you can reach out to them directly and say, hey, here's 10 really huge channels that just did reviews on CBum. CBum is a multiple-time Olympia. CBum is globally recognized. He does a lot of affiliate promotions. People like him and people who are not as big as him, you can reach out to. You know they have an audience that converts and buys. You know that they are likely to JV because they already are in front of you doing a JV video for another company. So reaching out on YouTube as well, using YouTube as a really good search source is really impactful.
Thank you. What are the core elements of converting when you actually have already created your offer? And let's say you have, the partnership that, has, let's say 10,000 leads or 20,000 leads or whatever. So now what are the elements to have a converting offer that will actually lead into sales and clients?
Two things. One is the follow-up for that offer, because again, they're bringing a highly interested direct audience that wants what you're offering. So your job is to follow up with the leads and customers being produced as much as possible. So literally every day, you need a daily email sequence or a daily email broadcast going out to every single lead, getting them to become a customer, and the same for customers to get them to become repeat buyers. Now, in your actual follow-up, you have 3 things you must do within your follow-up to build like, know, and trust. And the faster you build like, know, and trust, that is what actually turns leads into customers and customers into lifetime buyers. How much you build an actual bond with them. But most people don't do that. They just are focusing on getting customers. How you actually do this is through 3 elements. Through communication in your follow-up that is entertaining, enticing, and educating. Because in any audience, people relate to different types of information. For example, I like social proof. I like social proof and I like good storytelling. You, for example, you might like social proof, but you also might like more statistics and figures. You might like case studies. Different people in your audience relate to different types of information. So in your follow-up, you have to use these different types of information to relate to different types of people and the different types of information people relate to, because some people relate to multiple different types of information. So entertaining information is skits, videos, nurturing, just attention-grabbing types of content and information and communication. Then you have educating, which is mainly nurturing, how-to guides, walkthroughs, resources. Here's how this works. Here's how we can actually solve a pain point for you. Here's how we can actually get you a pleasure point you're looking for. Really focusing on giving a lot of free, tangible, actionable value to your audience. And as well, enticing is what most people do. And that is, here's a really good discount along with this guarantee, along with these bonuses we're offering you. And most people do the final one, but they miss out entirely. They miss out entirely on the educating and entertaining perspectives because they're so focused on generating the customer initially, which is going to happen in affiliate promotions because they're referring to a warm audience. But after you have your enticing offer, you have to keep building like, know, and trust and bring in and keep converting the other proportion of people who take 7 to 10 to 20 different follow-ups from different perspectives to get them to actually eventually buy. So variety of follow-up, it's mainly variety of follow-up. Frequency of follow-up is also key. And then segmenting your audience based upon actions they're taking. So if you're going to build out email sequences, you want to make sure you're emailing leads and customers differently. You want to make sure you're emailing unengaged and engaged leads differently. You want a dedicated sequence for people who abandon cart, which you can do through segmentation. There's a bunch of different ways you can meet your customer based upon the actions they're taking with the proper follow-up that matches where you need to bring them next in their customer journey. So I hope that kind of answers that.
Thank you. Which CRM do you use in order to segment the potential clients from the buyers?
I use usually there's Kajabi. Kajabi is one I like a lot. There's Maropost. An Active Campaign are probably the 3 I suggest. My favorite is probably Active Campaign. They do a great job with segmentation and tracking, which is most important because if you can accurately track what your leads and customers are taking in forms of actions, you're more accurately able to segment them into the right sequences and campaigns they should be hitting. So Active Campaign, they've got my heart, but also Kajabi and Maropost is more B2B, but those three are probably your best bets if you want really effective follow-up and to make sure that when you are working with JVs, that the leads they're bringing you and the customers they're bringing you are generating as much total profit as possible for yourself and for the JV, which will create a better relationship, produce more money for both of you, and just make a lot better interaction.
Thank you. How do you ensure that the leads don't unsubscribe? Because you mentioned that they need at least 7 to 20 potential emails. And you also said that you email them every day. So I wonder about that.
So a couple things, and I love this topic, is one, leads will almost never unsubscribe, almost never, if A, they are targeted enough. Truly, if they are people who are interested and who can afford your product and services. 2, most people hit the spam box, don't deliver their emails to the inbox, and have a lot of problems with going to promotions and different things in their inbox when you keep sending and following up with the same information, the same deal, the same usual structure of how you always have followed up with. So most businesses, as I've walked, like I talked a lot about this in Budapest, the 10th time versus the 30th time, you see my pitch going, hey, I would like for you to buy this. We're the best in the industry and we'll help you get a lot of results. And you send them to that same sales page with the same messaging over and over and over and over and over again. Of course, I'm going to put you in spam too. I'm going to make sure I put you in spam and delete your email. I would never interact. And that's why the vast majority of email marketing doesn't work for most businesses, is because number one, they keep sending people to the same sales page or the same page to get the customer to take the next action they want. I prescribe, and I talked about this in Budapest, you want to create, along with those two other perspectives, you create content from. Entertaining and educating. You want to also do that for your sales pages you're sending them to from within your emails themselves. So if I'm sending a broadcast to, say, a 21-day sequence, the first 7 days would be probably that main thing. Like most businesses do, you have your main offer, your main sales page, or your main page for booking a call, whatever your main action is you have for your business. The next 7 days is going to be all entertaining types of content. It could be a funny skit we made. It could be some kind of walkthrough, some kind of music video. I've even done music videos. I've done all sorts of different sales pages with the custom VSL, video sales letter, with that entertaining perspective that still brings people to the product and service I'm offering, that still nurtures them, that still talks about the pain and pleasure points, but is from a different energy, that is from a different perspective, and that relates enough. And it's a different message that keeps them engaged with your follow-up and with your emails versus 21 days, 41 days of saying the same sales page, the same information over and over and over and over again. So you do that for entertaining, educating, and enticing messaging. I suggest people create 2 to 3, maybe even 4 different sales pages from those perspectives. And if you do that, and as well you segment properly, your emails will so much better correlate with the actions and intentions of your audience and of your subscribers that the rate of them unsubscribing will drop drastically. And the rate of them not opening and clicking your emails will drop drastically. You're going to get a lot higher click-through rates, open rates, and your email marketing and follow-up will be so much more effective because you're not just every other business that sends out the same sales page for the 85th time. That doesn't relate. No one wants that. They want to actually feel like you're a human or feel like you're an actual business that actually cares about them. So when you use these perspectives, it changes the game entirely for making sure you're not hitting the spam box and you're delivering well.
Thank you. Give me an example, okay? Because I have a public speaking course, which is in October. And the way I usually send emails, and I don't actually send that many, but the way I usually do is, here's the offer. This is what's going to happen. There's a perspective on, this is what you're going to learn. Another email about, another perspective of what you're going to learn. And trying to think also of, different headlines to put that could appeal to different people and so on. But I wonder about this idea of making the email a bit more entertaining. What would you have me do, for example, to turn this into something that is more engaging, more fun for the entrepreneurs to lean into? The reason I ask is because my partner Harry and I, we are very funny. and we are very fun. But
Yes.
I find that we are not showing that so much on social media. We're all about, showing the, commitment and the dedication and
right.
We're not showing the fun side so much.
So one, I'll alleviate your concern and worry, because that's what people have is like, oh, if I'm not professional, it's going to turn off our audience. Take a look at off the podcast. There's the Harmon Brothers. Take a look at the Harmon Brothers ad. Take a look at he's the lead actor for Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds. Take a look at what he does with businesses. He goes in and he does the creative work for their advertising and their marketing. He instantly scales them and sells them for hundreds of millions of dollars. It's not professional. It's not like like say he went into a liquor brand and he did their ads. It's not going to be like a Budweiser commercial. There's a guy with the horses. He's on a tailgate and he's drinking. It's not that. It's this entirely humor-based skit. So one, realize that the best advertising in the world is creative, and often the best is also entertaining. Take a look at Dr. Squatch, Squatty Potty, many of these other people who do advertising, just the advertising alone, although I recommend doing it in your follow-up in other realms too. Their ROI on these ads is crazy. And it's because they actually show personality, because we think because we're in business that, like you can't show personality, but that's what people relate to. That's what people like really, really want. They don't like someone who's real in themselves. That's what makes businesses like stand out strongly. So for you particularly, you said this is the event for speaking?
Yeah, this is a public speaking event about how to speak charismatically, confidently, and to embrace your authenticity.
Right. Okay. Well, perfect. So one thing you could do is take a look at like TikTok. I hate to use TikTok or YouTube Shorts for an example, but take a look at like the funny stuff that you relate to from them. So a lot of them was like, this is a weird example, but there's this drink that a lot of ladies and women love. It's not a drink; it's a drink holder. It's called it's like this. It's like a thermos, but it's huge right now. It became a multi-billion-dollar, I believe, $100 million company because girls just love this cup, and they're like, oh, I'm a whatever girly because I like my. So there's different types of skits you can find unrelated to what you do from within TikTok and Shorts, just for like that type of content. That's one thing. Secondly, like if you're going to send out and create a VSL for your email list, instead of like being in like a professional background in your suit or in however you normally do your VSLs, your whatever you normally promote to your email list, have one of you walking like downtown. Say, hey, I'm downtown, and as you see here, a lot of these businesses don't really have their own brand. They do well, they do okay. But what they're really missing is a little fun. What they're really missing in their advertising and growing their business is someone like me or someone like you who can actually represent them in their advertising, in their marketing. So you're still speaking in the way that you would speak to your audience, but you want to include, number one, like different environments, being outside, being in different locations. I have an idea for one I'll share with you that I plan to do. One, go to downtown, go to a special place, go in nature. Number two, think of just something that you, like you're saying, like something authentic, fun that you think people would like that's a little bit cringy. Like I've done like videos of me doing flips that involve that as like a hook in the video. You could do something like you cooking and you relate it to speaking. Again, this is like a weird example, but you can make it work. So I'm trying to think how I would do it for you specifically. So you could have like a lasagna, 2 lasagnas. And the first lasagna is just like you overbake it. You make sure it's pitch black, it's charred. You're like, this is you speaking with zero authenticity. Kind of garbage, right? You chuck it in the garbage. You could do this lasagna and it's like this pristine, amazing. It could even be like an AI. It could be like an AI lasagna that looks like amazing. Is you when you speak authentically in a way that people actually relate to. They love it, they want more of it, and they'll keep buying whatever you're offering when you're speaking because your lasagna freaking rocks. And then that could be like maybe it would be like a 3-minute video on there, a 5-minute video. And then you relate that to, so if you want lasagna like this, you really should make sure you come to my event where I'm going to be speaking live about being yourself, being authentic. Think of things like this is off the top of my head. Different environments, using everyday life that people relate to. And then a lot of storytelling. Doing a lot of storytelling helps as well for like the educating perspective. A lot of storytelling. Okay, so here's how did I actually get started? Here's like a 10-minute, 20-minute video of just how I got started, step by step, my journey. And then throughout it, you relate to speaking. how speaking impacted you. That's another way. Nurturing and educating is another perspective you could use in your promotions or the VSL, dedicated sales page, would be more, okay, I don't normally do this, but I want to walk you through right now how we get booked for podcasts to speak for tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, really cheaply, using this really cool service called Podmatch. And then you walk through, hey, here's why I work with Podmatch, blah, 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 blah. You can use this for getting speaking gigs. You can use this for being in front of your audience, your target audience, etc. Just enjoy, give a whole complete, it could be like an hour video of just pure value with call to actions to, hey, if you want to learn more about this and more about speaking and speaking intelligently in the way that your audience relates to and buys from, wait till you see us at our event where we're going to talk about this in a lot. Those are some different ways that you give a different perspective that your audience actually wants, and that, again, they're looking for someone who isn't just the usual, hi, I'm great. This is going to be amazing for you. Buy now. And to prove this works, I've done this a lot in affiliate marketing. So businesses I would promote their services for, like I said, like videos of me in the shower from the chest up. In the shower, I would cut to a video of me doing a flip. I would cut to a video of me walking my dog, and use humor and use these different elements. And it seems like unprofessional and weird, because it is, but we immediately would get a boost in sales. Anytime we've ever done that, I have never seen it not work a single time in my entire life. That's how well it does. Real quickly, I have an idea. So in Minnesota, it gets very cold here. It gets like -40, and we get about 5 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet of snow every winter. I plan to do a video with like just my swim trunks, just sitting covered in the snow for an ad. Like, hey, your business needs leads, because most likely it's as cold as me right now, and it's -40. You're trying to run ads, you're trying to do organic marketing, but it's just not working. Well, if you want to warm up your marketing, and then I go into a skit, and then I would keep the video going, and I'd be like, well, you're still watching this ad, but I'm still going to sit here in the snow until you click the button and learn more about how we can get you infinite leads for your business. And then I would do a bunch of funny stuff. I plan to do that. You'll see that this winter.
Wow, I love that. Now, one interesting thing is that my partner Harry and I, we do a lot of inappropriate humor, a lot of humor that normally you cannot really say it. Although I have seen people that do.
It does well.
So I do wonder how you can integrate, inappropriate humor, and then kind of tie it in with a very professional brand that appeals to the luxury market.
So in that case, you can lightly tone down, because you still want to be funny, you still want to relate. Then I think you have to be more ambiguous and suggestive. Like, I'm trying to think of a really good example of people who do that right, or like shows that do that right. Think of like sitcoms, for like family sitcoms that give like just enough humor that kids get it, but then the adults are watching it. There's a lot of cartoons that do that really well. There's adults that watch it and go, I get that. I really get that, without them saying what they're actually saying. So I think being ambiguous, because I'm thinking about like some ideas now that would pop up that you could do some really funny stuff that would get attention. And then also seeing what your audience relates to. So say you guys decide to create 3 different versions. We're going to create this kind of like strong one, this kind of more educational one, storytelling one, and this one. You send out each of those to your email list, each one for 3 days. Then you see, okay, for these 3 days or these 2 days, only on one of these, we got extra sales. So usually you go, okay, now that's the indication. Maybe the 3 days you send out the really vulgar ones, they love it. They buy like crazy. Maybe it's the 3 days of the education. Maybe they want more of this instead. So then you actually know within your audience what they mainly want to see. Then you focus more on that throughout all of your follow-up. You focus more on that type of messaging, but you still sprinkle in the other types of messaging because you still want to hit those other people in your audience. You just do it a little bit less strongly. So the reason also why, like I'm saying, to do all these different things in your follow-up is you identify what your audience actually wants, you stick with it, but then you still use a little bit of variety. So you still mix up, you still grab their attention every once in a while and get them going, oh my God.
I love it. I'll give you an example, okay? So I was playing tennis with my partner, And he
That's a skit right there, by the way. That's a skit right there.
Okay, so let me tell you. So and he's quite slow picking up the balls. And of course, I'm really fast, and within seconds, I've picked up all the balls. And he kept saying, don't touch my balls, don't touch my balls.
Yeah.
And then I kept saying, there's 100,000 followers that I have that would love from you. But that kind of humor that is like not a daily thing. It's like at least 100 times a day that we play around this kind of humor. But I find this is the kind of humor that typically you cannot really share on social media without, looking like a weirdo.
Right. So what you would do is like that specific example is amazing because it's actually funny and it's actually really good. So you could be like, why wouldn't you pick up my balls? And then you pick up a ball that's like brand partnership or speaking, something that involves speaking, like would be like a logo or something on it. Like, don't you want to, I'm not sure how to exactly like tie together in my head right now. There's different ways I would create. That would be such a good skit. Like, there's so many ways you could use that and relate the ball to like, you need to pick up these chances you have at speaking that are right in front of you. We can teach you how, and then you just spit. You create and even if you just do it in the smallest portion at the beginning, that's the hook. That could mainly be just the hook. It's just a light vulgar section. That's like a minute, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, that then goes into, all right, here's how we blah, 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 get you to speak for blah, blah, blah. So you can pick up all these balls through opportunity. There's a bunch of things you could do with that. So I would use that, especially because that's like a story that both of us are like, oh, that's actually really good. There's so much you could do with that.
There's another one that we always say at least 50 times a day, which is, you're not going to believe what happened. And sometimes nothing really happened, but it's like nothing gets turned into something, so.
Right. You could also like, oh my God, you can't believe what happened. You could like be all surprised and like crazy. You'd be like, what happened? You'd be like, well, when I spoke for this event, which was actually really easy to get booked with them, I was able to get like 10 clients from stage. Oh, no way. Really? Oh my God. It was so easy. Actually, all I had to do was go to brandforspeakingbookpublishing.com, and then you make a skit out of it like that too, as well. So you can make like, oh my God, it's like fake surprising, but it's actually kind of a pitch the entire time.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential business titans, providing you with the insights to awaken to your full potential so you can get paid to be yourself, find true happiness, and manifest anything you desire.